United States of America. Unity and oneness is what we're made of. One nation under God, it's plain to see. We're showing the whole world what a country should be. United we stand in America, hand in hand in America. Together as one in a land that we love. United we stand in America.
Good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to Changing Times. It is Wednesday, August the 5th. Boy, back to school will be here.
And the election, the primaries are done.
Oh, thank
All right,
goodness.
so we're here
thank goodness.
breathing again.
I tell you what, I want to say this as we talk about the elections and we're done with it. Hey, so congratulations to all the men and women that have won a campaign, a primary. They still have a general election in November, but good job. And also thanks to all the people who ran unsuccessfully. It's not easy to run a campaign. It's a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. August, July, all those months are very hot and hard. And I just appreciate, and we all appreciate everybody doing their part.
And thank you for voting.
Yeah, and thank you for voting. Yeah, we had more people voting, but I think this time than normal, but we had some amendments. But we'll talk about that later. But we are live at the Acts Media Group headquarters in Springfield, Missouri, and this is show number 303. So we've been blessed 303 times. Be sure and get a pencil and paper out, and I'm going to tell you something very quickly that you need to know. 4321ACTS@gmail.com. 4321ACTS@gmail.com. I would love, and Dr. Mary would love, we would love for you to let us know what you thought about this show. What subjects would you like? We've got a lot of great shows lined up. This is going to be a great show today. You're going to learn some stuff today. And this is going to be not just for Missouri, but this is going to be for Florida, soon to be Ohio, other states. And this is a very important topic, and we want you to pay attention. But we would love for you to comment to us. And then let me tell you what, lastly, today is the day. Today is the day that you need to find Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. It's today. It's the time right now. Don't delay it. Don't put it off, because things happen that we don't know that's going to happen, and we may not be here tomorrow. Do not take a chance. If you don't understand Jesus Christ and you don't understand the Bible and you don't understand God, write to us at 4321ACTS@gmail.com, and we will give you information. We want you to have life for eternity. And so that's what we're about today. But today our topic is Man Up. It's a great topic. It's an organization. Tim McConville, good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here today.
I tell you what, we are glad that you're here today, and you're a fellow Christian County citizen with me down there in Nixa, Missouri. And Tim, I got to listen to him the other day. Judge Cruz, Jessica Cruz, one of the judges in Christian County, has a meeting every once in a while, and she had a good turnout. Yeah. And when we're talking about things that happen in Children's Division Court and
looking at the foster care world, looking at what that process looks like, all the players in that.
And it's complicated.
Field.
It's very complicated. Lots of people are involved in it, and I think Judge Cruz, I really like it because she's trying to improve the process. Yeah, and I think that's a great thing. So anyway, we're gonna talk about that today, and I've got. You sent us a great outline, and Dr. Mary and I are going to go through an outline questions and kind of get started here. But what does...
I don't follow scripts well, so if I surprise you...
She might ad-lib, but he said that's...
It's a little more than I would even do. I'm way more of an off-script person, but I know some people like to have an idea of what we're talking about. So
yeah, it makes you feel secure.
Yes.
Well, and so he's already said, just whatever you want to
Yeah,
ask.
we'll wing it.
So he was thinking about you before he even knew you.
Just roll with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the best conversation.
So
Absolutely.
first thing I want to know is where people know, what is Man Up? What is it?
Listen, Man Up, the mission of our organization, and this kind of gives you just the encapsulating picture of who we are, is to mobilize, support, and train men to model healthy masculinity in their homes, churches, and communities. That encapsulates who we are.
So who's the founder?
The founder, well, it was actually a group of guys that got together and actually were serving on mission trips overseas and seeing a lot of women come on these trips, and they were working in these orphanages, and the guys were like, why are men not involved in this? And they were seeing this issue of fatherlessness and said, why are men not involved? And so they began inviting men to come join them on these trips, and through that, this idea of manning up and going and doing something was birthed out of that. And so about 13 years ago is when they created the 501c3 and said, we want to do something more with this. Well, now our CEO, Jeff Ford, has been leading the charge for us for about 11 years now, I believe.
And he's in Florida?
And he's in Florida. We're headquartered out of Florida. So it was a group of guys in Florida and a group of guys in Springfield, Missouri that were working together just through relationship. And so when they started the local work that we see today in Springfield, it started in Tampa, Florida, and Springfield, Missouri. And so yeah, we're headquartered there. So I'm the only full-time guy in Missouri, and then I've got a part-time program coordinator here in Springfield and one in Kansas City that I help oversee and just kind of give guidance and direction to in what we do.
So you're a separate 501c3. You're not attached to any particular church.
No, we work with many. Our heart is to equip the church. Our heart is to partner with the churches to step up and do what the church should be doing. It doesn't need to be us, but if we can equip and if we can help, encourage and challenge and get men to step up in the church to do this, then we feel like we're being successful.
Yeah.
13 years.
Yeah,
Yes,
I like
ma'am.
that. I like that. So the next thing is, what is the reality? I know you talked about hope, and hope is something that we actually started our show on, is because we found out so many people don't have hope.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And so what's the reality of what?
The reality of what we deal with. So you look at the mission of equipping men and training them up to be leaders. The vision of the organization is we want to see fatherlessness ended. And so if you look at what's the reality is in America, over 17 million children are living in a home without a father figure. And so that's 1 in 4 kids in America that don't have that influence in their life on a daily, regular basis. And so I was one of those kids. I grew up in a home without a dad, lived several states away. And so what replaced that, and you can't replace that. You can't replace a relationship with a dad. But in the grace and mercy of God, men can step up and be that role model, can be that mentor, that figure in your life that can help teach you, can help walk alongside you, can help give you the roadmap on what it looks like to be a godly man. And can model that for you.
So how did you find that man in your life?
Church. It was through the local church, a church that we grew up in on the east side of Indianapolis. And my mom said, listen, she saw the issues of my dad, of his dad, and the challenges that were there, and she said, I don't want my kids to fall into that same trap and fall into that generational cycle. And so we talk a lot about that, breaking the cycle of generational fatherlessness. And so she did everything she could to make sure that we were in the right places, that we were around the right people. And so as a single mom working 2 and 3 jobs at times, she had us in church every time the doors were open. And we lived 30 minutes away, so we had to drive. She wanted us in this church around this group of people, and I attribute a lot of who I am today by a handful or so of men that were, maybe a youth leader, maybe it was a children's leader, maybe it was just a friend of the family that said, you know what, I'm going to take a little extra time
awesome.
to bring Tim along for this trip or to do this thing, that I got a lot of experiences that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
So a lot of other men watching this show today could do that.
Absolutely.
And you could be
every man has the ability to do that.
You could be a grandparent. You could be like me. You could be old like me, or you could be younger, and you could help help a boy. I mean, your mom was a great mom, but kids need a great dad too. So what does
that role
do?
model.
What does that do to a child? Well, you were lucky. But what about all these other children?
Blessed, thank you. You sound like my mom. We're not lucky, we're blessed.
We are blessed, yes.
Honestly, you don't really appreciate it until you're older and you begin to experience life more as an adult, that you can look back and go, boy, what would my life be like if I didn't have those people? I remember when I took this job full time 3 years ago. I remember sitting in my home office down in the basement at my house, and I sat there and I thought to myself, who were the people that truly made an impact in my life? And I sat and I just made a list, and because I'm still in contact with many of them, I reached out to each of them and just said, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for caring enough. Thank you because it wasn't because they paid for something, because they gave me something, because it was because they were there. Mm-hmm. They were present. They were making themselves available when they could have been doing other things, when they had their own families, when they had their own jobs and own things they could do. And so as an adult now, what it causes me to say is, I'm married. I've got 2 kids. One just graduated. I've got one in 8th grade that we're very busy with. I'm plenty busy with that. Or I can say I've got capacity to do more. God's given me the ability to still impact more. And so I do. So there's a few that I have taken I say ownership of, that I've mentored, that I've taken the reins on saying, hey, I still want to give back to some other kids maybe that are in the same situation I was in. So I wouldn't be who I am today without those men stepping up and when I would reach out there, go, I didn't even feel like I was doing anything for you. That's often what people say. A lot of times it's not because they just are going out of their way to do it. It's just they're doing life, and they bring you along to be part of it, and they don't think they're doing much. But boy, how powerful it is then as an adult for me to go back to them and say, man, thank you for what you did. And them go, well, I didn't realize I did anything. Well, we have more of an impact than we realize.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, so this off script, but so I'll be like Dr. Mary. So I just got to thinking, so you got an 8th grade son at Nixa.
Yeah.
And does he play football?
Basketball.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and you probably know Coach Perry though in football.
Yeah.
He spoke about a month or 2 ago with about 400 people up in Springfield, Faith in Business 94X.
Yep.
That's once a month on the second Tuesday at 7:30.
Little plug there.
Yeah,
it's a great meeting.
It's a great.
Yeah.
Or you just feel so much better when you get out. But he gave a great talk, and he's doing the same thing you're doing. I mean, he's a football coach and everything. He writes books. He goes around and talks. But the thing is, he's teaching them more than about football. He teaches about life and God and things. He's a very
I think
strong
coaches, teachers,
military sergeants. No, really. They adopt their boys.
100%. I mean, you think of some different roles that people play in life that it's a job for them, but in all reality, they really, if they understand who God's called them to be and understand God's put them in the place they're in for a reason, they have the ability to make an impact in combating fatherlessness in a way that's very unique. And you have the ability to either look at, we just want to focus on the game, we want to focus on what you're learning, on the skill or the tool, or you can say life is bigger than the skill, life is bigger than a win or a loss here.
Right.
There's so much more to it than that, and we're raising up young men or even young ladies. I mean, listen, we focus a lot on the boys' side of it because but listen, young ladies need father figures
Positive
just
roles.
as much.
Oh, yeah.
Let me share a story with you. We were working with one of our foster moms that came in and spoke with a group of our volunteers, and she said, don't discount the 15 minutes that you have in my home when you're dropping a meal off or maybe doing a small project. And she shared about a young girl, 10 years old, that was in the home at the time, and said that little girl, all she knows of men in her life, dad, uncles, is abuse. That's all she knows. And so when she's able to experience a kind, giving, caring, totally different than what she's seen, when she's able to experience that, it begins to reshape the way that she thinks about men.
Or it at least causes a dissonance to say, I don't have the whole picture. I've got to make room for something else and investigate that.
Yeah. And there's something else there.
There is something, and that's why we like men to teach kindergarten, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's not just the homes where fathers are not living there. There are homes where the fathers are there, but they're emotionally absent because they're alcoholic.
Yeah.
Or they're drug abusers, or they've got the Peter Pan syndrome. But even if they're at the same address, they are not emotionally present for the children. And so those children also need a positive male role model.
Yeah. So a lot of times people say, well, what if a dad shouldn't be in the kids' lives? Listen, there are different groups of men that we're talking about. Let's be honest, there are some men that should not have influence over their kids' lives.
No,
at the end of the day, they
right.
just should not.
Yeah.
And so part of the process of what we're doing, whether through working in the court system with Judge Cruz, working with Children's Division, working with is I want to give the benefit of a doubt that, hey, if we can come alongside a dad and work with him and help him learn what it looks like to be a good parent, what does it look like to be a good dad, and we can help them, great. That's the goal. But my goal is also for the safety and well-being of the kids.
Right.
Okay,
right.
so yes, I'm a father advocate. I'm an advocate of dads, but I'm also, even more so, an advocate of kids being in a healthy place. And so there are some dads that are not that.
That's
Right.
right.
And there's some dads that I've refused to work with.
But not all men, and that
Correct.
is the cultural conundrum. Because, and I'm going to put it out there, I study this stuff, and I want to know the political roots of some of these ideas. Communism is anti-family.
Yeah.
If you read the Communist Manifesto, basically to make all women equal, they should all have the freedom of prostitutes. That Marx comes out and says that.
Wow.
Okay? So the whole idea is to get men out of the home so you can destabilize society by destabilizing the family. So there was another group, I'm going to give you a little history lesson here. Another group in England called the British Fabian Society. And they were all about cultivating this women can be independent of men and just have sexual freedom thing, okay? That mindset, the British Fabian Society, was actually part of the group that came over and was in FDR's cabinet. They were called the Brain Trust. They were Fabians, okay? And this is where we get a lot of the ideas of destroying the family through welfare.
Wow.
All right? If you're giving welfare checks only to single female head of household, and that was it, you couldn't have a man in the home if you're going to get these checks, then you disincentivize marriage. And we're still there.
Yeah, we do that today.
Yeah. I mean, God bless you for using the resources you're given now. But one of the big targets, if you want to restore the family, is the federal government. You have to change their policies to be pro-marriage and pro-family.
Yeah.
And right now, they're not there. And you got a whole business community, the corporate business community, trying to get kids out of the home and into preschool. You know why? So they can train them up for the corporate mindset. This is called human capital economic theory. Get them out and start cultivating them for job skills in preschool. All right? So what kind of influence do they get in character development, in hugs and kisses, and in stories from their families if you have them off in this, basically, sterile. I'll call it sterile because there is no teacher, no matter how much they think of themselves, there's no teachers that remember the birthdays. They can't be there on weekends, nights and holidays. They don't take care of you when you're sick. There's events in your life where only the parents are there from cradle to grave, and they're trying to disrupt it. And this is all the economic worldview that's what life is about: making money and filling your stomach.
Well, and it creates, to your point, it creates a home where a dad feels like he's got to work harder to take care of his family, and so he may be gone half the year.
That's why you see inflation as high as you do.
Yeah,
it keeps the parents separate in the home.
Yeah,
and in this, how do I say it? The juggling. That you have one parent at a time kind of thing. You're not together as a family unit.
Yeah.
This inflation, this high cost of preschool, it's all part of the destruction of family.
Yeah. And the family unit is so important.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the design of God. God designed the family unit the way I think of a lot of things as having been married for 21 years and raising 2 kids.
You're doing good.
I'm just still figuring it out. But the thing that I look at is if I didn't have my wife around raising my kids, I just think about how challenging, because I think of the times that we complement each other in parenting, that if I'm having a bad day, she's still able to be present, and vice versa. If she's having a bad day, I can be present. Well, I think about my mom, then, so that takes me back to growing up with, and I'm like, my goodness, she had to put up with us all by herself.
It's so immense. That responsibility,
So much
single
pressure.
head of household, is it's so tiring.
Yeah.
And I think there's women who realize there's a small window of time when you actually have influence over your children. How do I give them the best environment? And it's not always me.
Yeah. And so in our day and age, so then the question becomes, knowing that the family unit today is not what it was designed to be. It is not. So there's ways of combating that. I think there's ways, that we can work on how do we help build up the family unit again the way God designed it to be. But at the same time, we still have to deal with what's in front of us, which is a lot of single parent homes, is a lot of broken marriages where they're trying to figure it out. And what you see a lot of times is mom and dad just being selfish and being mad at each other, and how that affects the kids. And so if we can come in and help men understand how to love, even if you're not if you're divorced, if you don't live with the kid's mom, how can you still love and be compassionate and kind? Even if you and mom don't get along, how can we figure that out so that the kids are still getting the best of both mom and dad?
And just civility. All right,
So you're trying to break that cycle.
And so that's the challenge we get in the court system then, is you're bringing all this brokenness, whether it be in the foster care world, family court, where you're dealing with divorce, you're dealing with, 2 people that are just mad at each other, and then who are the ones that are affected by it? the kids.
So you're in the trenches.
And he's restoring. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the key words I think is restoration.
Yeah.
You're really trying to restore what God intended was to have a unit, a husband and wife, a mom and dad,
And we believe from a biblical standpoint, if you look at God, again, how he designed the family, and truly understanding the role of husband and wife, understanding the role of men and women, from a good, and I love that, the model healthy masculinity.
Yes.
Removing the toxic element of that, removing the worldview of masculinity. But when you look at it, and when men are stepping up, we believe that if men will step up and do what they're called to do, that all of these other things that all the symptoms, you would call it, the 80% of people that are in prison right now grew up in a fatherless home.
Yes.
Okay. You look at suicide rates. You look at, one of the statistics that blew my mind, again, talking about the father role with a daughter, is that for young ladies that age out of the foster care system before the age of 21, 70% of them get pregnant and have kids.
Yeah.
70% of them are pregnant before the age of 21.
They think attention is love.
Because they're looking for love from that male person, whoever that might be. And as the song goes, looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yep.
You find that they fall into the trap of, this guy said some nice things. I know he's not the greatest guy, but they gave her attention.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
They gave her attention and made her feel valued in a moment.
Here's how bizarre this gets in my world, in education. There's a school district up near St. Louis that is struggling, like only 10% of the kids are at proficiency level for math or reading. I mean, it's really low achievement. And one of the elected officials up there is trying to bring attention to the problem. Now, what the typical strategy is if school districts don't come up to a level of proficiency targeted by the state, then they withhold money from them. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? I said to the state rep trying to help this community, I said, so what's your percentage of kids on free and reduced lunch? 100%. I said, and what's your percentage of kids who come from female single-head household? 90%. I said, there's your problem.
Yeah.
And you want the schools to fix that? And you're going to punish a district by withholding funds when your problem is fatherlessness?
Which is just going to hurt them even more.
Honestly. We have a real problem here in society, thinking that if we just push the right buttons and money's the key, that we're going to fix everything. But that's not true. Life is about relationship.
Yeah.
And so I really applaud what you're doing. I just hope more people learn about it, because the government system has it all wrong.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm going to go back to the original question what we started with is what are we dealing with? But there is hope. And that's at the end of the day, so hope is everything. If we live this life and we have no hope of something on the other side of it, many people say, so what are we doing then here? What's the purpose?
Right.
But we have a hope in a loving Savior that is giving us an eternity with Him that is greater than we could ever imagine. So here on earth, what is that hope? The hope is, yes, there are these issues. There are these problems that we're looking at today. We look at the fatherless numbers. We look at the statistics. The reality is, what's the hope? The hope is, I'm sitting here today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what, Tim? I saw in your notes the biblical perspective.
Yeah.
And the reason why I believe that your organization is still young, but it's going to really succeed. We have to have it succeed, as God is in it, and it's part of it, and we know that. And and you're grounded on a biblical perspective.
Yeah.
And so that's
Well, and I'm going to read to you Isaiah 1:17, which is the founding, kind of the scripture that speaks to who we are. It says, "Learn to do good, seek justice, help the oppressed, defend the cause of the orphans, fight for the rights of widows." That defend the cause of the orphans, defend the cause of the fatherless. We're
That's right.
fighting and stepping up to do something. So when I say I'm not the hope, like I'm going to fix everything, that's not. The fact that I'm sitting here today gives us hope that there are men doing something, and when men do something, it makes a difference.
Right.
And so I believe that as men begin to step up, as men begin to, and here's the thing, the reason why I have hope in this, because we're seeing it. We are seeing it. We're seeing a movement around the country of not just our organization, of many organizations that are sounding that alarm, that are sounding the call to men to step up. And not in a you've been wrong, and not what the problem is. Mother's Day is all about love moms, and Father's Day has been about what men are doing wrong, dads, how you're messing up, and that shouldn't be that way.
That comes back to the propaganda of a political thought that wants to destroy the family.
Yeah,
And they know if they target dads, they've got the key.
it's Hollywood. What do we show men as being on television in the sitcoms?
even The
The
Simpsons.
buffoons
Who was
that
supposed to be
that do
stupid, right?
that have no common sense and
That's
mess
right.
everything up, and mom's got to come in and fix everything, and it
Or
absolutely
the kids
is.
were smarter than their parents, right?
Which, listen, there are some days. Bless my 13, almost 14-year-old. He lets me know when he's got one over on me. But I one of the greatest joys that I have in life is getting to be a parent.
Yeah.
Is getting to be a dad. And I'll never forget having older kids now. I don't get to see this. A couple days ago, a friend of mine was out of town for work. He was doing some schooling, and his wife posted a video of him driving into the driveway, getting out, and the three little kids just running, grabbing dad. I think of, coming off a plane and you're walking, and that point when your family can meet you and the kids seeing you and just running, and just the excitement. I think about the end of the day when mom's been working hard taking care of the little ones all day, and it's been a challenge, and dad comes home and they're like, "Dad's home." And she's like, "I've been putting all the work in today," and dad gets to come in and be the fun, right? And
That's
sometimes
how it worked in our house.
right? And sometimes mom, but listen, what it does is when that dynamic, when the family unit's working and that dynamic can happen, when dad's doing his part, and instead of, "I'm tired, I don't have time for that," when he takes the time and takes time with the kids, it gives mom a reprieve. She can go sit down, take a break. Dad's home to take care of the kids. He's doing his part. That refreshes mom.
Well, let's say he's enjoying the kids, okay? Because if they've run up to him, I know the men I talk to say, "That's why I do this."
Yeah.
The guy who's going to be the speaker elect, he'll point to his family at gatherings and say, "That's why I do this, because I have to protect their future."
Yeah.
And what was I going to say? I think Charlie Kirk, one of the a part of the opposition he had is because he was doing what you're doing. But he was doing it at the college level. He was giving men a vision of who they could be.
Yeah.
And somebody had to stop it.
Yeah.
And so,
Helping build that family unit
He
back up,
was.
trying to change the narrative.
because he said exactly what you said, start
Hey.
being men.
Hey, Tim, so think of a story that you could share, just a short story of why all this work that you guys are doing matters. So is there a story
boy.
that you could share?
Why does this matter? Well, I can share, a young man that I've worked with now for about 7 or 8 years that, I won't get into all the circumstances, but Mom just said, hey, he needs a male role model in his life right now. And so I just kind of took him under my wing, and he was part of my family. If we were going to do something, hey, why don't you come with us and come be a part? And very quiet early on, didn't get a lot out, wasn't a lot of conversation, but I just kept showing up.
Yeah.
Just kept showing up. And, just graduated this past year. And, conversation with him is different today. Built that relationship and that connection where I can honestly sit back and go, and I've talked to Mom and said, I'm proud of where he is today. His mom is incredibly proud of where he is today because somebody just decided to show up. We had 3 or 4 young men just graduate from high school out of our youth mentoring program that we do. These are boys that have been in the foster care system, and so we work with their families, and we started a youth
with
mentoring.
The foster families?
Yep. And so we started a youth mentoring night with these boys, and so we got a group of guys that work with them, and we held a night where we had. One person was the focus, and we had people go around the room and tell them how they have changed or how they've made an impact or share an encouraging word with them. And I sat and I watched as all these people encouraged the one individual at a time, the look on their face. Mm-hmm. The look of their face of realizing people care about them, realizing people value them. The pride that welled up in them that they've accomplished something was remarkable for me to see. We had one of the young boys that was in one of our family's homes that moved back with bio mom and is back in Jefferson City. And he got a phone, and he was in this youth mentoring group. So he got a phone, and his first phone call was to one of the guys that led that group.
Oh, good.
That was his first phone call.
Yeah.
And I remember Ryan said, "Hey, who is this?" And he said who he was, and he's like, "Oh, hey." He's like, "I got a phone, and I wanted to call you first."
Oh, yeah.
And that just tells me when you put the time in, when you put the effort in of showing up, being there, going to a sporting event, going and having dinner, going and just sitting and talking, whatever it is, that when you show up consistently over time, the impact that you have is greater than you could ever imagine. And it's in those moments when you get a phone call out of the blue and you realize, I made a difference.
Right. Hey, the next thing, Tim, we're going to be running out of time, but I want to kind of make sure we talked about on your outline. We're going to kind of end it with an invitation, what people can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think the listeners and viewers need to see that. And then what can somebody do? So what can they do from all the information you heard?
Yeah,
We're gonna
absolutely.
we'll give you last words today. I've still got to talk about sponsors, but I want to make sure that you be thinking about what do you want to say, how do people get a hold of you,
Absolutely.
how can they help, okay?
Yeah.
But let's talk about what some of the things that you can do on this invitation that people can actually make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, no matter where you are, okay, if you have nothing to do with our organization, maybe you don't even get involved in any organization. Every man has the ability to either, one, step up in his own family. Okay, I've had conversations where men have walked up and said, I've heard what you've said, and I've been lacking in my kids' lives. I've not been present in my kids' life. That is the most important place to start. As a father is your home.
Right.
Okay, so let's not even look outside the home. Look inside the home. Are there areas where you can grow? Are there areas where you can step up as a dad? So that's number one. So every father has the ability, regardless of how old their kids are and how old you are. I don't care if you're 80 years old and your kids have kids and grandkids themselves. If there's a broken relationship there, there's still time. Mm-hmm. There's still time. So your family is most important. Right. Outside of that, maybe it's a neighbor. maybe it's a neighbor next door that's a single mom living there that's got kids, that you maybe just take a little bit of time and you decide to go out instead of just go in your driveway, go in the garage and close the door and move on. Maybe you stop and you go say hi to the kids. Maybe you stop and take time. Maybe you go and help that single mom out with something that's going on that she needs help with, and you take time. Time is so valuable. Mm-hmm. And I know everybody says, I'm busy. It's a bunch of baloney. Everybody has time to do something. Mm-hmm. Everybody does. And so I would just say from that standpoint, if you have nothing to do with Man Up, those are things that you can focus on doing. With Man Up, manupandgo.org is our website. Go check out everything that we do, whether we're in a town that you're in or not. There's resources on there. We just put out a book. Our CEO just put a book out called The Way of the Patros. That is a great book that focuses on all of what we're talking about here, on who God's called us to be as men, what we're called to do from a biblical standpoint. It's a great book to be able to go through with a group of men. So if you got a group of guys that get together in the morning once a week, this would be a great book to go through as a group of guys. Maybe you're just looking for some good reading material, but this is kind of a catalyst when you say, we're talking about train, equip, helping men step up, supporting them. This is a tool that we have that's available on Amazon, just came out last week, so it's brand new, available. I think you can get it at one-day shipping right now on Amazon. So The Way of the Patros is there as a tool. But all of that's online, manupandgo.org. If you're in the Springfield, Missouri area or Kansas City, Missouri area, you can get a hold of me, Tim at manupandgo.org. If you're in Tampa, Florida, we've got a team down there ready to step up and help you down there. But listen, we're here to equip the body of Christ. We're here to equip the church. We're here to equip men to be able to step up. And so we're available, no matter where you are. If you're in California right now and you're like, what do I do? Tim at manupandgo.org. Shoot me an email, and let's see what we can do to help you out. Yeah.
Well, very good, very, very good. Let's do a little shout out for Alex Bryant. He's your neighbor. He's your neighbor, good friend. He's our friend, really good friend, and he wrote a book called. He wrote a book called Man Up. Did you teach him about that, or
listen? When I took this role 3 years ago, he didn't even know I was his neighbor. He didn't know anything about our organization, but he happened to run across something on Facebook, and he saw that I worked with this organization, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I just wrote this book," and I said, "Alex, you don't know me, but I know you, and you live around the corner from me." And I literally walked to his house for that meeting. And you want to know, that was when I met Alex was when I met Representative Greg. Yeah. And that's when we began to talk about fathers. We began to talk about the family, and that's how I
talk about legislation that you're promoting.
I don't know. We have time to do all of that.
Well, we got a couple minutes.
Right.
We got a couple minutes. Go ahead.
So what we've been working with Representative Greg in the state of Missouri is a fatherhood initiative bill that is about working with Children's Division, working with Family Services to say, hey, if we could have a guy that steps up as a fatherhood engagement specialist, which is what we talked about last week in that meeting with Judge Cruz, if we could have a guy that comes in when there's a father struggling because he didn't have a dad. He doesn't have that influence in his life, so he doesn't know what to do to be dad. That's right. Okay, listen, there are people that just don't know.
We don't get manuals. That's right.
And so we're saying, what if we came alongside of these dads and just mentored and coached them? And they had somebody in their corner that could help them through, whether their kids are in foster care, whether they're going through, family court disputes, whatever those scenarios are. Maybe they just got out of prison and they're trying to reacclimate with life, and they're trying to get re-involved in their kids' lives, and they're just struggling. What if we provided a guy that could step in and coach and walk alongside them and then get them in a group of people that are going through the same things and walk alongside them? That's what the fatherhood engagement bill is all about. That's what this is about, just helping men with stepping up to become the best version of themselves as a dad that they can be.
So would the court then, as part of the judgment,
It could be
or
the court.
decision?
It could be the court. It could be, working with Children's Division. It could be working with caseworkers.
That they would know you were a program they could say,
Absolutely.
this has got to be part of your
Yes.
intervention plan.
And for the last year and a half, I've had different caseworkers that had just learned about Man Up, and they're like, Tim, I don't know if you can do this, but I've got a dad that needs help. Absolutely. Give me their number. I'll call them up. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not even about a program. It's not even it's just the dad knowing they've got somebody there for them.
Yeah, knowing
Somebody's
on their
there.
side.
With the
That's
same
what
purpose.
That's what I got out of what you said last week. Okay, well we're gonna talk about our sponsors, and then we're gonna kind of wrap up this show. I think this has been an awesome show today, don't you think, Dr. Mary?
Off script.
Tim,
Did we have a script?
Yeah,
don't have a script.
Tim, you are a difference maker. You are a tremendous difference maker, and Dr. Mary and I are, and Dennis, our producer. I mean, we always love to have difference makers on our show, and they do different things, and that's needed. It's the way God planned it. But our two sponsors make this show possible. The first one is Brad Pistow, Certified Fiduciary Financial Planner, located in Ozark, Missouri, on North Farmer Road. He is licensed in 18 states, and I know that we have viewers right now watching in all 50 states. Well, don't worry. He knows people in all the other states and their business associates, people that he travels all over the country to speak. He's written a couple books, Safe Money Matters, Bulletproof, both best-selling #1 books on Amazon that has to do with retirement planning, financial planning in retirement years. He has a model, and I absolutely believe it. I use him. My family uses it. A lot of my business friends and other people use Brad Pistow. He has plans that you will not run out of your life before you run out of money. Now, I know as a senior, a lot of people worry about that. The #1 worry they have as inflation keeps going up, healthcare costs, food, insurance, everything's going up. They worry that they're going to run out of money before they run out of their life. He's got plans to help you. He does not charge for consultations, whether it be on the phone or in person. I highly, highly recommend him. His son also is a licensed stockbroker, so I still make investments. I make investments through their company. He also has an associate that is a Medicare specialist, so if you're getting to the age where you're going to be signing up for Medicare or Social Security, they have those experts too. So I highly recommend him. Phone number, that's why you need that pencil and paper, 417-582 Oh, sorry. That's why I was pausing for it. 581
9222.
Oh, I'm sorry. 581-9222, 9222. Let's try that again. I can't believe that. I've said this for 5 years, and I went blank today. 417-581-9222. 417-581-9222. I think I've got that in my mind now. Hope you'll give him a call because he will help you. The other sponsor is Youngblood, used to be Youngblood Motors, now Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia. Same owners. John Youngblood retired, but John Whittaker is the owner. Aaron Swanson will be here. I think the first or second week in September, last week in August, something like that. He's on our show. All those sponsors are on our show from time to time.
Fun story. I went to school with Aaron Swanson 20 years ago. We went to Bible school together.
Well, I tell you what,
him and his wife.
He treats us right.
They're good people.
He's a good guy. He's going on vacation next week, but he'll be on our show. And we both Dr. Mary and I bought a car from him. I bought a Kia Sorento SUV last September, Labor Day, and you bought a Rogue.
A Nissan Rogue.
Nissan Rogue, and you bought that in April?
January.
Oh, you bought that in January. Well, guess what? Right now, today, right now today in Springfield, they have 5 months no interest loans on Rogues. They have a special on Rogues, a great car, and they've got all kinds of specials going on. They specialize in service. I love their service. I've bought cars from them for several years, and we highly, highly recommend them. And people say, "Oh, I'm not in Missouri." Well, that's okay. 8 states. They sell cars every year from people from 8 different states. That's pretty amazing. And they are the longest family-owned car dealership in Southwest Missouri. Okay? Over 45 years. All these dealers are selling out, and they are still around. So we highly recommend those 2 people. Okay, you have one last word you want to tell the audience?
Listen, we're in the business of ending fatherlessness, and we believe if men will step up, that God can do great things through dads, and I believe moms and wives are empowered and encouraged and lifted up through that, and so I think when dads step up, it's a win for everybody. So that's my encouragement today. What can you do today to step up in your home?
Well, I tell you what, Tim, what you're doing is just an awesome thing. And just like Dr. Mary Byrne said, I mean, there's a lot of people that's trying to destroy our country from within.
Yeah.
Within. Mm-hmm. That's the education system. That's the family system. All the things that God helped create. And with our founding fathers, when they did the Constitution and Bill of Rights and everything, there is groups of people trying to destroy us because they know they can't beat us militarily, but they're going to attack us from within. Yeah. And we've allowed it. People have allowed it to happen.
Well, they haven't recognized it. And there's been phenomenal messaging saying this is what freedom is. Absolutely wrong. If you can see through the lies, it's not freedom, it's destruction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, hey, we all appreciate you today being on our show, watching our show. Be sure and send us a message, 4321ACTS@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought about this show. I thought this show was a great show because of Tim and Dr. Mary's questions and things like that. So I enjoyed the show. I learned something. I hope you all did too. Let us know. Let us know what you'd like to know. What is bothering you in this country? We have a lot of issues, but you know what? Tim had solutions today. This show actually talks about issues, and then we talk about solutions. Do you find solutions on TV? Do you find solutions on the radio? Do you find solutions in print? No. We're one of the few shows that's a Christian show that talks about solutions.